Story 1. How good Google and YouTube were before the search algorithms became manipulated by anyone and everyone with some kind of commercial interest. You could find so much weird, interesting, and niche content that it really did feel like you were exploring the world. Now it is more like you were going to a shopping mall. Story 2. The idea that there were actually a variety of websites to visit. Stumble upon would send you all over the internet to see all sorts of things, most of which would now just be found in singular places like Reddit. A time before every Google result was artificial intelligence nonsense. God, I miss it. Story 3. People were actually positive on the internet. You could find communities that formed tight-knit bonds and just relaxed and shared their common interests. People were less exclusionary and more welcoming to newcomers. Story 4. When your crush would log in on MSN Messenger, your heart would skip a beat. Then you nudged her a lot virtually as a primitive way of flirting. The same goes for poking on Facebook back in the day. Story 5. Ceiling Cat is watching. Hey kids, do you like memes? You're the man now, dog. The title lolcat is gone even though lolcatspeak has basically become a standard form of meme language and captioning. Original Doge language. Story 6. Just how diverse, wild, and, dare I say, edgy the internet used to be. The regular internet had a lot of the same mystery and intrigue you can only get on the dark web now. You understood the internet was not a safe place. You could see opinions and posts from all sorts of people. It was far more diverse, even though it was much smaller. Things weren't normalized. They were just presented as they are. Trolling wasn't something to avoid or call out. You usually just laughed with them. The bigger threat was the actual threat of hacking and viruses, especially Trojans. Story 7. Why Numa Numa was the ultimate lip sync. Lip syncs are all cringe, only because they aren't Numa Numa. We peaked with that. Give up. Story 8. In Soviet Russia, a petrified Natalie Portman pours hot grits down you. You had to be there, I guess. Story 9. The internet's collective crush on Felicia Day. Live Journal and Dead Journal. Microsoft Network Chat. Hamster in a Blender. Maddox. The endless amount of niche forums where everyone knew everyone. Imagine every subreddit being its own little website with a tiny fraction of the members. Story 10. Hey, I'm listening to Evanescence, Bring Me to Life. Be right back. Nickname changed to SavageFig_AFK. Quitting. Bringing me to life. Can't wake up. See you later. Story 11. MySpace. Being able to have Linkin Park play on my profile page while you looked at it was top tier. Story 12. Forums and their own little subcultures, how tight those communities were, unlike Reddit, for example, where I have no idea who I am talking to. Instant messaging, whether it be America Online, Microsoft Network Messenger, or whatever, how you would get home directly to your computer just to log in and talk to people. Chat rooms in general. How you could actually find cool random stuff on Google. Story 13. The early days of massively multiplayer online gaming were remarkable. The communities were truly enjoyable. I have many fond memories of Star Wars Galaxies, and I started playing World of Warcraft during the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. I miss those days. Story 14. The internet was largely a place before the 2010s. You either had to use a desktop to go online, or maybe you had a laptop with wireless capability that could be used from the comfort of your own couch. But the idea that it was everywhere came after smartphones really put the internet in our pockets. Story 15. That it was fun to surf around. There was so much to see. Nowadays, you just log into 3 to 5 websites and doom scroll. Story 16. The biggest change, I think, is that it used to matter whether someone was online. Like your contacts list on AOL Instant Messenger or Microsoft Network Messenger would have plenty of people labeled as online, and you could talk to them, but the majority were probably offline at any given moment, and you had to wait for the opportunity to chat with them. Away messages were also a thing, so online still sometimes meant that they were away from the keyboard. I guess away from the keyboard doesn't mean anything now either. But getting that notification that your friend was online was exciting. Sometimes you'd log on and immediately get a message because someone saw your name and was like, yes, I can talk to you. This distinction started to not matter anymore when platforms started supporting offline messages and forwarding of instant messages to your cell phone. God help you if you didn't have unlimited texts and someone was typing to you from their keyboard. Story 17. That concentrated maze game where the witch scares you. I pranked my nephew, and it was the worst I have ever felt afterwards. Story 18. Everyone was inquisitive and actually searched for information instead of asking the same repetitive reworded questions continuously. Story 19. It's a Leopleurodon, Charlie, a magical Leopleurodon. It's going to show us the way to Candy Mountain. Charlie, the way to Candy Mountain. Story 20. Going to a friend's house with an empty DVD to get my hands on a music album I like because downloading it would take forever. Story 21. I still believe that the moment our timeline broke was when Quiznos used the "We Love the Moon" hamsters in an advertisement. Story 22. On MySpace, some of us gleefully created and rode on friend trains just so that we could have a higher friend count. Kind of like bots, but a bunch of human scene kids instead. Story 23. Live journal with thoughtful, informative blogs and RSS feeds delivered through a desktop feed reader, notifying you when your favorite blogs are updated. Story 24. There used to be 12 and under chat rooms with moderators. It was a terrible idea, but you would get kicked for cursing and other inappropriate behavior. It was chaos. Story 25. Not necessarily a piece of internet culture, but just the longevity of a meme. A meme these days will come and go relatively quickly, but 20 years ago, it would remain for far longer. Story 26. Your friend shows you eBaum's World or Stick Death, and then you get in trouble for trying to use those sites at school. Story 27. I used to draw small pixel art. Some people were better than others, and we even animated pixel art. I belonged to message boards where we would exchange cute pixel art and store them in a virtual pixel toy box. We would mention a person's account to give credit. I made a few friends through the boards and even mailed letters and gifts back and forth to a few of them. It was a nice way to make friends. Story 28. Seeing the birth of the internet is becoming more meaningful and nostalgic. It was such a tight window of history and likely the most impactful. All of this is making me realize that we experienced one of the most influential periods of time in human history. We witnessed the entire human species being connected all at once. This will never be replicated. We can never go back. For thousands of years, the human race will be connected. Story 29. How small it was compared to now, and how it was possible to separate what happened online with what happened in real life in a way that you just can't now. Story 30. When you used the computer and had to shut it down because someone was going to use the house phone. Story 31. While much of the post is accurate, the early internet also had a lot of super niche forums that, depending on the moderators, were really great and wholesome. They were tight-knit communities where everyone knew each other and just wanted to talk about their interests. Story 32. Using a third-party site to make it appear that you submitted a post to Facebook from some random device, such as from a toaster, a home pregnancy test, or a 1948 Ford. Story 33. MySpace with the customizable backgrounds and music playing in the background for your profile. Ah yes, high five too. Story 34. YouTube poops. Back then, you had to sentence mix, while nowadays you can make anyone say anything using artificial intelligence. Story 35. ICQ, the other instant messenger. Remember how Yahoo was a big deal from 1998 to the 2000s? It was the portal that had everything. Story 36. Your mom is telling you to get off the internet because she needs to make a phone call. Charlie the unicorn. Salad fingers. More dots. Story 37. Just the weirdness of it. It was so weird. It was such an effort to get online that the people who were there really, really wanted to be there. And a lot of them wanted to be there to tell everyone about strange things and just be generally weird. It was brilliant, anarchic, and crazy. Story 38. Newgrounds in its heyday was where many popular internet animators developed their skills. Shockingly, Tom still has it up and running. Story 39. Photo bucket images on your page. So much good artwork just smeared everywhere. Neopets was especially full of this. People would decorate their pages, their 5-pet pages, their shops, and anything else they could get their hands on. Story 40. Web rings. No website was complete without a links page to continue surfing the topics on your site. So people developed web rings as a way for those hosting vaguely similar content to be connected with other sites. It helped you get more eyes on your site while helping others do the same. Also, GeoCities. Story 41. One thing that always pops into my mind is how much of a huge deal lolcats were back in the day. I do not think younger generations fully grasp how much that little meme influenced internet humor. These goofy images of cats with misspelled, often absurd captions, like, "I can has cheeseburger," or "I am in your base, killing your dudes," were everywhere, and they sparked a whole internet culture around meme-based humor. It was like the birthplace of modern internet memes that we see today, but with a very specific flavor of absurdity and randomness. I also remember how we used to communicate on forums, chat rooms, and early social media platforms like MySpace. Back then, it was all about making your page look as cool as possible, with flashy graphics, custom backgrounds, and songs that would autoplay when someone visited your profile. It was a totally different vibe than the sleek, minimalist social media designs we have now. Even things like the use of statuses or the epic top 8 on MySpace were big parts of online social dynamics. I wonder if younger generations even understand the concept of getting a viral meme before TikTok and Instagram made it an almost constant thing. Back in the day, a viral video or meme would spread like wildfire through forums, email chains, or early social media, and it felt like you were part of something unique that did not get washed away by endless scrolling. There was something kind of magical about that, and the whole sense of online communities felt more tight-knit. What are some internet trends or aspects of early social media you think are completely lost on younger generations today? Story 42. Do not trust anything you read on the internet used to be common knowledge. Now people think Jewish individuals have space lasers and vaccines cause autism. Story 43. The hilarity of YouTube at its inception. Leave Britney alone, Leprechaun in Alabama, Whistle Tips, and more. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.